Hi, my name is John Stampley, and today I'm going to go ahead and share with you some things about how you can fund your ideas and fuel your future. We have a 10-minute presentation. It won't take very long. However, I know that we're going to share some things that could add another 10, 20, 30,000 or more access to funding that you'd have for your business in 3 weeks or less. And although I know people are very busy these days, I'd like to ask for your full attention. This presentation should only take about 10 minutes. But if you have Facebook open, I'd like to ask that you go ahead and take a moment and close that. If you have your cell phone on, I'd like to ask that you go ahead and silence it so that we can be fully invested in the short period of time that we have together. As I mentioned, we're going to share with you, how you can fund your business without any upfront cost to you, without any risk, guaranteed in 3 weeks or less. So I know you're going to enjoy it. I know this is going to be meaningful to you, as well as how to avoid the top 3 hurdles that often trip up entrepreneurs and get on the fast track to funding your business and your ideas very quickly. Okay? So if you're all ready and got everything silenced, let's get started. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit of background information about myself. As I mentioned, my name is John Stampley. I'm the founder of RocketSpeed Funding, and my personal background is in real estate investing. In fact, the way I stumbled into funding and business funding was actually by using the product myself. So I guess I can say that I did the experiments on myself, found out how much it made a difference in my business, and now I'm in a position to be able to share that and help other clients and business owners get access to the same kind of funding that's made a huge difference in my investing career. And more specifically, I'll tell you one of the most useful times I remember using the funding was the winter time. It was like a little before Christmas, and I remember making a phone call and speaking with the seller, and he was interested in selling a small apartment complex, and I remember saying, "Hey, I could be there in an hour," and getting to that property and walking the units. It was half occupied, missing windows. I remember it was cold in there, and in fact, I remember the floors being sticky. I think someone had poured like a syrup or something on the floors, and I was like, why is this floor so sticky? But anyway, long story short, the place it needed a lot of work. I don't want to call it a dump, but it needed a lot of work. Okay. And I remember at the time looking it all over, and I was excited, but at the same time, I knew that I did not at the time have enough cash to be able to do all the repairs myself. But I did have access to business funding. All right. So I was able to go ahead and acquire that building, and I actually used the same types of funding products that now we're helping our clients get access to. I use the same type of funding to be able to go ahead and pay for the repairs, to go ahead and acquire materials, to pay the mortgage, float the mortgage, as well as to pay my laborers and people that help to do some of the work at the property. So that's the kind of funding that we're focused on getting our clients. And the reality is, over 99% of all businesses in America are small businesses. In fact, more than 1 in every 2 Americans is actually employed by a small business. So personally, I believe in small businesses here in America. I understand that small business is actually American business. If you're listening to this, you're probably an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, and small business owners actually are what drives the economy. You know what I mean? Whether you know it or not, I'm sure you probably are aware of that. And the other core belief I believe is that capital should be available to all businesses, regardless of what level they are, whether a new business, old business, large business, well-funded. I mean, everyone should be able to have access to funding for their businesses. I believe your ideas are important. I'm sure you believe the same. And our goal is to help you to fund your ideas so you can fuel your future. Okay. So let's go ahead and get on to the top 3 hurdles that often trip up entrepreneurs, so you can get on the fast track to funding your business. The first hurdle is one that I often see people believe. They think that you need to have a long track record, or you need to be in business for years before you can get access to funding. And the reality is it doesn't matter if you've been in business 10 days or 10 years. The products that we focus on to get our clients are perfect for startup businesses. They also work for seasoned business alike. But it just is not true that you have to have an old business. In fact, to be totally honest, I've even seen there's actually companies that sell aged corporations, companies that were started 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, or even will look to try and buy a company that's in a whole other state from where they live in, whether it's Nevada or some far out state. The reality is a new corporation works just as fine to get you funding as an old one does. We can get you access to funding based on your situation, and it's perfect for people even if you have a new business. Okay. The second hurdle that we often hear people talk about is they'll set up their company. The next thing they'll say is, I have to get a DUNS number, or I have to work on getting my business credit together and get a great Paydex score. The reality is although there are paths to get funding. If you want to go that route through EIN number and developing your, not so much through your EIN number, but through DUNS number and through trying to work and get a higher paydex score, the reality is that trail and that path normally takes a lot longer. We're getting our clients results in 3 weeks or less. That path normally takes 6 months to 12 months. And the reality is the types of access, the types of credit, and the types of funding that you'll get on through that program tend to be vendor oriented. In other words, you will get access to funding at Sears or access to funding at OfficeMax or very specialized store related credit or lines of credit. And a lot of times that's not as useful. A lot of our clients are looking to either take that funding and use it for real estate investing, take that funding and use it to run Facebook ads and Google ads, take that funding to acquire inventory, you know what I mean, or to, or to pay your staff, to pay for office space, so that traditional method, that slow process of building business, DUNS numbers and developing your paydex score is just unnecessary. Like I said, our lenders are primarily going to look at you as a person and look to see if you are personally credible. And we're never going to look for your DUNS number or check on your paydex score. It's just unnecessary. If you want to get your business funded very quickly, you don't need any of that. And the third hurdle being is a lot of people believe that in order to get access to business funding, that you're going to have to make a down payment, or that there'll be a lot of upfront costs. And like I said, once again, our clients, we're getting them results. There's no cost up front. It doesn't cost you anything up front. If we can get your results, or when we get your results, is the only time where you'll pay a success fee, and you'll know what that will be before we get started. But if we don't deliver any results, there's no cost to you. And the reality is there's also no down payments. So the funding that we can get you access to, even if you don't have a current need for it, but you have a business, you'll eventually need to access different funding, or you may want to use it instead of using your cash. So this funding sources that we get for you, until you use it, you won't make any payments on the use of that funds until you start to use it. Okay, so there's really almost no risk to you. That's another reason why you should consider, or probably should go ahead and apply for this. And one more thing, I want to go ahead and explain to you the entire program. So RocketSpeed Funding program, we serve startups and business owners nationwide. We've had clients as far as from coast to coast, from California to New York. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're in New York or Nebraska or Houston or Miami or Chicago. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. We can get access to funding for you and your business. We're a nationwide company. As I already mentioned, there's no startup fees. We do not verify your income. There's no collateral required. You can use this funding for anything. And we get access to funding for you and your business generally in 3 weeks or less. Also, the interest rates for the funding that we get you generally starts at 0, not always, but generally some part of the funding will start at 0% interest, anywhere from 6 to 12 months. And it doesn't matter what kind of business industry you're in. You just have to have some kind of a corporation or some kind of a corporation or LLC. Most clients have an LLC, but you need some type of a business to get started. So the next thing I want to do is ask you a question. Would it help you to have access to another 10, 20, or 30,000 or more for your business in the next few weeks? Would that help you? Whether you actually had a current need for it right now or not. Would it help you just to have it to the side, for if you should need it? Would it help you to have access to more funding to possibly hire an employee? Would it help you to have access to funding to maybe close a real estate deal? To float a contract. If you're a contractor, we get some contractors that like to use this funding to float their projects until they get paid on the project. It would help you to get access to use this funding to have access to do more marketing, perhaps pay for your website or different things, or even, like I said, just to have it ready in case you should need it. If it would help you, if you think that it would help you or it will make a difference, and even more so if it wouldn't cost you anything to even get started. Our program, you only pay for it if we actually deliver results. But to come to the program, it doesn't cost anything, and you actually won't make any payments on the funds that we get you unless you use them. So it's a beautiful thing to have. So if you think this will be a good fit for you, or if you think that would help you, then I would encourage you to go to the website and apply. And just to tell you a little bit about what an ideal client should look like, we generally look for people to have at least a 680 credit score. We're looking for people to have 30% or less usage in their personal credit cards, as well as a minimum of $5,000 in personal credit card limits, and generally at least 3 years of personal credit history, as well as no major negatives on your credit report in terms of no foreclosures, no bankruptcies, excessive collection or no collections in general or excessive inquiries. So generally, you have to have a pretty excellent or pretty good credit. But if you have great credit, we normally can get you very good results. So one more time, how this works in 4 steps. I'll break it down to you. The first step is to go to RocketSpeedFunding.com, click the apply button, and once you go ahead and fill out that short form, either myself or someone from my team will have a short consultation with you, and we'll learn more about your business and what your business goals are. From there, we'll move on and create a personalized funding plan for your business, as well as get started running it. This is a done-for-you kind of a service, so you won't have any major things to do in the process. We're gonna identify all the lenders that you have the best shot at getting funding from, and we will get you funded, get funding for your business. And like I said, generally we get results for our clients in 3 weeks or less. So if this sounds like it will make sense to you, I would encourage you to go to RocketSpeedFunding.com and click the apply button. So thanks again, and look forward to getting funding for your business. Thank you.